This series deserves Game 7. This series is getting Game 7. Let's talk about it on All Dodgers. Coming at you live from my mom's basement in Pleasant Grove, Utah. This is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Bleav Network of podcasts, presented by FanDuel. It's not just my mom's basement, it's also Clint's mom's basement in beautiful La Puente, California. Hey, Clint, you got some memes for me?
You know what? Hold on. Let me turn on the soundboard because it turns itself off like a rude. But
There we go. This game deserves some memes. I want to jump right in, Clint. The Dodgers win this game 3-1. Do you remember 2020? It was a strange time. The world was taken over by COVID. And the Dodgers, in Game 7 of the National League Championship Series, after having battled back from a 3-1 deficit, they force a Game 7. And in the bottom of the fourth inning, the Braves up to bat, the Dodgers leading 3-2 with one out, or with two outs. I'm looking at the wrong, top of the fourth, with nobody out. The Braves load the bases. It's 2-2. They load the bases. They score a run. I was looking at the bottom afterwards. Anyway, my point being, eventually the Braves are up 3-2. It's second and third and still nobody out. And I'm looking at the lineup. The 8-hitter Nick Markakis is coming up, or as I used to call him, Nick McKakin. I could never say his name without saying Nick McKakin. It was kind of like Mason Flaherty. So you got Nick Markakis and then Christian Pache and then Ronald Acuna. And so the Dodgers have already just given up the lead. They're down 3-2, two runners in scoring position. And I'm doing the math and I'm thinking, crap, there's no way that Ronald Acuna doesn't come up in this inning with a chance to really blow this game wide open. And do you remember what happened next?
He didn't get a chance.
There was a double play. Justin Turner made a diving Superman tag on Dansby Swanson.
That was Superman.
And then throws it to third and gets Austin Riley. Corey Seager tags Austin Riley for the third out, or for the second out. And then Christian Pache grounds out. And suddenly, Ronald Acuna doesn't get to come up. Later, Cody Bellinger hits a home run, et cetera, et cetera. Dodgers go on to win that series, eventually win the World Series. That's what I was feeling tonight, because when it's second and third, nobody out. And I'm doing the math. And I said, crap. George Springer is coming up to the plate this inning. George Springer will get up. Even after Ernie Clement hit a first pitch pop-up, which is my favorite thing in the world. First pitch pop-ups, my favorite baseball play when we're on defense. Even after that, I'm like, it's second and third, one out. George Springer's on deck. And I said out loud, George Springer's going to get up. And not like I knew if they can get Andres Gimenez out, which they should be able to, because as I've mentioned repeatedly, several episodes in a row, Andres Gimenez isn't a good hitter. But even if they get him, George Springer is coming up. George Springer likes playing in the World Series against the Dodgers, has done some good things.
Yeah.
That ball fluttering out towards Kiké Hernandez. And as the camera is panning to Kiké running in, just at the very bottom of the screen, I could see Addison Barger's helmet moving towards third base. And I said, are you serious?
Do it.
And then Kiké catches the ball, and I think he had the same thought. What's this guy doing? And Kiké throws it in. Great play by Miguel Rojas. One of three great plays by Miguel Rojas tonight at second base. Everything about that play, in case you weren't watching the game, the Dodgers won on a double play to keep George Springer from coming up with the tying runs in scoring position. Just the most ridiculous ending you can imagine. I tweeted earlier today about how whatever happens in this game, people are going to say it was inevitable. I was wrong. Nobody thought anything about this was inevitable.
You didn't have this on your bingo card. FanDuel didn't predict this in any way, shape, or form. Alana and I were watching, in our green room, waiting for hopefully a happy show, but I'll be honest, I was worried. I was nervous. If I hadn't already bitten most of my nails off, I'd probably be biting my nails in that particular moment. And I said out loud to, Alana and Mark, our producer, I say, don't let this guy, a 138 hitter, beat you. Don't let this guy win the World Series. And then they go to the shot of George Springer on deck. And I said, oh, dear God, don't let George Springer beat you in the World Series. And then somewhere some baseball god above said, no, this series deserves a game 7. And something got into, was it Clement? No, it was Barger. Something got into Barger's brain. Maybe it was those Angels in the outfield. Somebody just moved him a little bit further off the base or something to help out the Dodgers, help us all out, help baseball out. The only people who are suffering from this are Toronto Blue Jays fans, but I have no sympathy for them right now.
Including Alex Fenton in the chat.
Yeah, this
sorry,
series,
guys, the Jays got screwed.
No, they screwed themselves. And if you're talking
I assume
about,
Alex just doesn't know the rules on the play when the ball got lodged in the wall.
Thankfully,
unlike the strike
Justin
zone,
Dean,
that one was called correctly.
Thankfully, Justin Dean knew that. What, I don't know if it was him, maybe Kiké yelling at him, "Put your hands up! Put your hands up!" But yeah, apparently they've never seen that sort of play at Rogers Center. I'm glad it worked out. Took a run off the board and set this up for what should be an all-time game 7.
Yeah, and don't know how much it would have changed, because if the ball doesn't lodge, then it's a double for Barger. Maybe the run scores and it's 3-2, but it's still, Barger was the tying run anyway. But yeah, it was a wild play. We've already got 4 super chats. We're going to talk about Yoshinobu Yamamoto in a second. We're going to talk about Mookie Betts in a second. Let's see what our super chats have to say. MH Dodger for Life, 1999 super chat. Like the RBL Posse song, man, there's a bluebird on my shoulder. Can I kill it? Go blue. Love the energy. End of play. Teo, Freeman, Muncy, wake up. I think it was our buddy Jacob Brownson who tweeted out the high home view of that last play, and he said, watch a different person every time you watch this. And it's fun, like everybody doing their things in position. And my son's favorite was, again, we got emotional Will Smith again. Will Smith pumping his fist at home plate, just it was great. And that play, the catch by Rojas, it was good.
The fact that he was able to get to that, because it was obviously not a great play. No way in hell Kiké thought that play was going to develop in that way. Thank God it is still October, and Kiké was able to lock in and see, I have a play right there. Wasn't a great throw, but Miggy Rowe able to come down with that ball, and mercifully it stayed in the glove. Very different ball game if that ball comes out of the glove.
Absolutely. Ken Wolcott, $5 super chat. Tomorrow, the Dodgers just might be the first team in history to win a World Series game without a hit. Yeah, the Dodgers had, 4 hits tonight, but luckily 3 of them came in that 3rd inning, I think. And 3rd inning could have been bigger because 2 guys struck out on pitches that weren't strikes before that. But, we're not going to complain about the umpires because people don't like that. $2 more for Ken Wolcott. ABS now means anybody but Springer. Absolutely. And Raul Robles, $1.99 says, thank you, Blue Jays outfield wall.
Do you get the wall a ring if they do end up going on to win?
Sure, why not?
I don't want to say that I'm not resigned to the fact that the Dodgers were going to lose or could have lost. I would have been somewhat accepting of the results if the Dodgers lose this baseball game, and you tip your cap to the Blue Jays. But now after this game, I've never wanted anything more in my life. The Dodgers need to win this World Series for, as we said, myriad reasons yesterday. Got rid of the of for you. You need to find a way to do it for Vesia, to do it for Kershaw, to do it for us, me specifically. It's worth it, boys. Just do it.
Yeah.
Nike said that. Just do it.
Absolutely. My buddy, the Warmonger, a Phillies fan, but a good follow on Twitter, he said that play by Kiké Hernandez, that ball only had a 40% catch probability. Kiké's jump was 7.3 feet above average, which is why he was able to not only make the play, but make the play on his feet so he could then make the throw. So you can understand why Barger was thinking, that's dropping, I got to get a good jump so I can score on this, But Kiké made that play happen. Obviously, Rojas made it happen at the end. Kiké, I just see this tweet that he said to Rosenthal, somehow I was able to hear that the bat broke, even with that crowd. The Crazy thing is, I had no idea where the ball was because it was in the lights the whole time.
That's impressive.
Oh,
That's incredible.
yeah.
Geektober. That's where the luck was.
Geektober isn't working with the bat right
Nope.
now, but we can pretend this is a form of Geektober. Absolutely. Let's talk about Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
He was good. The fact that he went 6 innings and allowed 1 run, and we're thinking, oh, okay, that's just a okay start.
So
like his ERA was all the way up at 1.5 today. Like that's how bad he was.
Ooh, DFA?
For the series, he's now 15 innings, 2 runs allowed so far. Dave Roberts says everybody's available except him tomorrow. I would suggest that he is absolutely available. I think he's unlikely to pitch, but he's available.
Yeah, Yamamoto. He said he said he would much rather watch his teammates play, but stranger things have happened. I said in Dodgers territory, man. Where's Walker Buehler when you need him?
And we're gonna.
What would 22 do? I really want to see a big 22 movement.
Today's Walker Buehler was Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah.
Put some respect on that man's name. We're going to talk more about the Game 7 pitching plans in a few minutes. But Yamamoto was outstanding again. Just the 1 inning, gave up a run, but looked great. Not as efficient as his last 2 outings. Obviously, he was pushing 100 pitch. I did 96 pitches or something through 6 innings. I think they did the right thing. A couple of the pitches to Bo Bichette in the 6th inning looked like maybe fatigue. He was missing up. And a lot of times when you're missing high, that's a sign that you aren't finishing. You're getting tired. It could also be a sign that first base is open and Bo Bichette's a lot better hitter than Dalton Varsho. But obviously the Dodgers felt like they had pushed him far enough. Justin Robleski came in, did a good job in the 7th. Roki did a solid job in the 8th, less solid in the 9th. Tyler Glasnow and Kiké Hernandez and Miguel Rojas and Addison Barger had to bail Roki out a little bit, but it got the job done. And I feel like Yamamoto right now, barring some crazy heroic performance from someone for the Dodgers tomorrow, if the Dodgers win tomorrow, I feel like Yama has locked up World Series MVP. What do you think?
Yeah. That's it. That's all I got is when you have a complete game, allow 1 run, and you follow that up 6 innings of 1-run baseball, and nobody else has really stepped up, 100%. Now, maybe Shohei can go out there and steal it again like he did in the NLCS when there was no very obvious other front runner with a nice 3 or 4 homer game, maybe 5 shutout innings or something like that. I really love the way this team is set up. Not that, again, I agree. Let's talk more about tomorrow or later, more so. But
one other possibility, if the Dodgers were to win tomorrow and nobody has a standout performance, it wouldn't shock me. It would surprise me, but not shock me if we had the second instance ever of a player on the losing team winning the World Series MVP, because Vlad Guerrero has had himself a series.
Great series.
But I don't think that sort of thing could happen in today's age of media and social media and everything. It happened in 1960 when Bobby Richardson won it for the Yankees, even though the Pirates won the World Series. That's the only time it's happened, and the world was much different in 1960. So I suspect we won't see that. So if the Dodgers can win, I think it's Yamamoto's, and that would be deserving. Somebody who's probably not going to win World Series MVP because he's been mostly bad, but was definitely in the running for Game 6 MVP is Marcus Lindbetts. Mookie came up. They dropped him down to 4th in the lineup, and he came up in the 3rd inning, his second at bat, with a chance to break out of a slump. And guess what he did? He broke out of a slump.
That's my cleanup hitter right there. It was always move him down in the lineup. Dave should have done that in the middle of the season. He should have done that 3 weeks into the – well, I guess Mookie was hitting 3 weeks into the season. You get the point. I have – there's so many different ways you can go with it. The fact that he was the only guy who scored well, he wasn't the only guy, but they didn't score after 3 innings. Sorry, obviously, I'm half distracted here, so I apologize. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry, I'm not all the way tuned in on this one. But Mookie needed that. He said in the post game he needed that desperately, and you hope that wakes something up. Hopefully, Teo can also wake something up. But yeah, to see Mookie do something with a baseball bat in his hand, hit a ball hard, and it not go straight up in the air. It was a beautiful sight. It really was.
Yeah, absolutely. Rips a line drive, one hopper through the infield for a 2-run single. Will Smith can run the bases. Have you noticed that? Like he's fast for a catcher, but he's just a very good base runner. You watch that play, how he cuts the bag at third base. Like he can run. Like technically speaking, is a very good base runner. I really like that. Shohei Ohtani got to have a wrestling match with Kevin Gausman behind home plate. Well, Gosman's trying to back up the throw, and Shohei's trying to be a base coach. So
that was pretty funny. With Will though, I love when you see that boring mofo emote. It is, something really, really good just happened, and that's what happened at the end of that game. He's ready to, potentially deal with the worst case scenario and a play at the plate or something like that. Instead, oh no, it's a double play. We're going to Game 7. That's wonderful. That is wonderful for everybody.
It really is. So over at FanDuel right now, there's no longer odds on the World Series. There's just odds on Game 7. Because guess what? They're the same thing now. The World Series is down to a best of one. And at this moment, the Dodgers are minus 146 favorites to win the game tomorrow. FanDuel is listing Shohei Ohtani as the starting pitcher tomorrow. I don't know. I'm still 12 minutes behind as I'm scrolling Twitter while you're talking. So last I saw, they haven't said who's starting. But
Bill Plunkett said, Dave Roberts said Game 7 starter is TBD, but Shohei Ohtani is a possibility. So speaking Dave, it's going to be Shohei. Tyler Glasnow will be available to pitch after throwing just 3 pitches tonight. But again, Shohei makes the most sense because why are you going to set yourself up for potential just dumb crap to end the game when you could just get it out of the way right there and use the Shohei Ohtani rule to your advantage?
Absolutely. Here's what we're going to do, Clint.
Okay.
I'm going to have you tell our friends about FanDuel or about Delete Me. While after you do that, we'll jump into a couple more super chats.
I love it.
And then we will talk more about the Game 7 pitching plans. And while you're telling our friends about Delete Me, I am going to sneak out and go to the bathroom. So,
I'll take my time then.
A minute and a half. I'm speedy. Bathroom's right next door to my office.
He's still old, guys.
Hey, talk about Delete Me.
Guys, Delete Me. I'll tell you what, it makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. You'd hate to have your data stolen before Game 7. I'll tell you what do data brokers do? They get your name, your contact info, social security number, home address, even information about your family members. All of that can be compiled by data brokers and sold online to the highest bidder. The New York Times Wirecutter has named Delete Me their top pick for data removal services. Yes, there are other ones out there. Delete Me is your best option because we're talking about it. Have you ever been the victim of identity theft, harassment? Do you know somebody who has? It sucks. It's terrible. It's a pain in the behind to get your life back in order, to get your information back in order. Delete Me can help you take control of your data and keep your private life private. You just got to go sign up. You have a special discount, as you see on the screen there, special discount for our listeners. You get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/hit. That is HIT. You use that promo code HIT at checkout, and that is the only way you can save 20%. You get 20% off by going to joindeleteme.com, all one word, /hit. Enter that code HIT at checkout, and you save. One more time. That's joindeleteme.com/hit. Use that promo code HIT and save. And now we're at the point where we don't know if Jeff's back, so he's back.
Hey, look, it's me, Jeff Snider, back from my bathroom.
Proud of you.
We've got a few more super chats we want to jump into. ADK 499 says, never one moment of doubt. I'm going to pass out now. Go Dodgers.
Yeah, how is your clutching pillow hanging in, by the way?
It got its work in tonight. I posted a picture in the Discord of me clutching it that my wife took. It got its work in. And part of it was I was clutching it during the third inning when Mookie was up. And so then I realized today it is good luck.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had to do it in big spots. And so it got a lot of work tonight for sure.
You got to have the proper stations in the right spot. Like I started setting things up for, post gaming, and I had my setup in here. Usually I try to get things kind of set up and I'll go in the living room. But instead I decided to turn on the TV I have on this wall behind you, specifically for this reason, that is connected to an actual antenna, to get me the best, quickest feed of Fox 11 here in Los Angeles. And I was like, as soon as the third inning happened, I was like, I can't leave. I moved hats because I was going to wear my Dodgers territory hat, and I was like, nope, no, these need to go back. All of the things need to stay as they are, as they were, as they're meant to be, and that's the reason the Dodgers won. You guys are welcome.
Absolutely. My favorite thing about this clutch and pillow is it is a Halloween themed pillow that my wife actually cross stitched and turned into a pillow.
Nice.
It says "Trick or Treat, Smell My Feet" on it, and because it's Halloween themed, it spends 11 months of the year in a storage bin up in the rafters in my garage. And so it doesn't smell bad. It has a smell that's not bad at all. And in fact, now it's one of my favorite smells because when I smell that, I think of clutching it in October, and the Dodgers have given me some good October memories. But yeah, it's if you're the kind of person who connects smells to memories, this clutch, you can understand what I'm talking about with this clutch and pillow.
With a little bit of smell-o-vision. We don't want that. That would be
let's see. Brandon Green. I see Raul Robles' next super chat. I'll get to that one in a minute. But Brandon Green, $2 says, not going to miss these trash umps. Sasaki got robbed.
Yeah, that first pitch, that was a nasty splitter. And as soon as it wasn't called, I was a little worried because I think we saw that in the Philly series. The first time Roki kind of wavered this postseason, kind of the only time he had wavered before then. That sort of situation happened, and then he just kind of didn't have it from that point
He
forward.
struck out Vlad looking. The umpire didn't know it, and and it didn't come back to bite him in that inning, but it did make him throw extra pitches, maybe contributed to his struggles in the next inning. Richie Flores 99 super chat says Yamamoto is the toughest SOB on the mound. Mookie needed something to feel good about. Pitching options in our favor. Did Jeff put the seat back down and flush? Hashtag mental toughness. How's Kevin? Yes, I always put the seat down and I always flush. I do have hashtag mental toughness. Kevin is fine. We've been texting with him tonight. I think Kevin just is enjoying this World Series a little bit more, knowing he doesn't have to talk about it right after. I went on KNX right after the game, and I was so glad they had to do a traffic report before they could jump to me because I needed to get my heart rate down like below 600. Like it was just, oh man, that inning, it was just ridiculous. And now let's go to our last so far super chat, $1.99 from Raul Robles. Glasnow only threw 3 pitches. Is he starting Game 7? And that is the question of the moment. Clint, last night I said I didn't think that they would start Ohtani. And then I spent all day today second guessing myself. And now that Glasnow pitched tonight, I am 100% confident that Ohtani is the starting pitcher tomorrow. And I kind of talked myself into Ohtani being opener type, go an inning or two. Once Glasnow pitched, I think they probably tell Ohtani, treat this like a regular start. If you can give us 5 good innings, we're going to take 5 good innings from you. But they will have a hook at the first sign of trouble, first sign of fatigue, have somebody to finish off an inning if it's not a clean inning and then go to Glasnow or whoever after. But, everybody's going to be available. And yeah, as Raul asked, Glasnow throwing 3 pitches. There's also the time warming up in the bullpen. Glasnow definitely won't be built up to throw 7 innings tomorrow, because just by nature of having to pitch today. But if they can get 3 or 4 from Ohtani and 3 or 4 from Glasnow, suddenly that's 6 or 8 innings, and then Snell probably has a couple innings in him. Yamamoto, whether Dave wants to admit it or not, has an inning in him. Roki, I'd kind of be surprised to see him but again, everybody gets 4 months off tomorrow. One of the things I was saying on the radio is Game 7 of the World Series is like no other baseball game because everything is on the table in a way that it's not in Game 7 of the NLCS. Game 7 of the NLCS, you say, all hands on deck. We got to win this or there's no tomorrow. But you still have in the back of your mind, well, but we have a series after that if we do win. This, everybody gets 4 months off after tomorrow. And so everybody's going to be available. I'm still hoping the offense can make it possible that Clayton Kershaw can pitch the last couple innings of this game tomorrow. That's my dream scenario. It may be a dream, because this offense doesn't seem like the get a big lead kind of offense.
I don't know. Maybe someone wakes up with this one. I mean, this type of ending needs to be a spark. If we've talked about this team needing a spark or to flip a switch for months on end over the course of this season, and now over the last couple of days with this postseason, if this doesn't get you going, I don't know what else does. This team is going to be ready to go out there and bring home back-to-back World Series titles. I cannot see a world where the Dodgers outlast the Blue Jays for 18 innings in a series and then win a game in that fashion in the same series and lose it. If 18 innings didn't give them the momentum that you have an interesting relationship with, this game is a momentum game. 1,000%.
And to be clear, the 18-inning game did not give them momentum.
It did not. No.
But yeah, maybe this one will. So I think we see Ohtani on the mound to start the game tomorrow, which, maybe that's why they went with Glasnow tonight. They had already decided Ohtani starting tomorrow because of the Ohtani rule anyway. But this way it seems less like, you just know if Ohtani came in and only pitched one inning, people would be whining about the Ohtani rule. How come he still gets the DH when he's just an opener, blah, blah, blah. And this way it's like, no, he's going to be a starting pitcher. And, wow, $19.99 from super chat from Mike. I'm embarrassed. I just found out you guys go live. I'm embarrassed for you, Mike, but I also appreciate your $20, bro. Welcome. Everybody finds us one way or another. So, yeah.
We are live. We'll be live tomorrow, post game. I will be immediately live after the game, Dodgers territory. No Alana Rizzo, but my friend and yours, Ross Stripling, will be joining me. Former Dodger great, former Blue Jay participant. Ross Stripling will be
and
celebrating.
So no Alana, that might mean that you get to say an entire sentence.
But I digress.
It is kind of funny that I kind of interrupted your sentence to make that joke.
Yeah. Listen, Linda. We're all in here trying to make points over each other.
Noah for $1.99 wants to ask if I washed my hands with soap. I did. It took me about 6 seconds to get into the bathroom, 30 seconds to do my business, 31 to do my business. A good, 25 to 30 second scrubbing, rinsing, drying hands off, back in the office, bing, bang, boom. All while Clint was telling you about our friends at Delete Me. Got the job done. We definitely have said too much about my trip to the bathroom.
Yeah, this was a lot of bathroom talk.
And speaking of trips, Clint, I know you have friends coming over. I'm going to keep chatting here with our friends. Yeah. Do you have anything you want to add before you jump out and leave me all alone in this podcast?
No, I just want to say I appreciate everybody being in here, even if you're finding us late. Again, we're always going to be here live on the YouTube. It's been a fun season, and I'm happy that it's come down to a Game 7. If somebody told all of us at some point in February, when you get to November 1st, it's going to be 3-3. The Dodgers are going to have a chance to beat a team and win back-to-back World Series. You'd be like, yeah, no, I'll take that. You don't care what happened all the way through. Brand new ball game, brand new season starts tomorrow. It's a 1-game season for the Commissioner's Trophy, our favorite piece of metal. And I am looking forward to it. I am here for it. And if you guys want to talk with us about it, check us out on our Discord, patreon.com/realfrg. Click the join button.
And to be clear, this isn't the end of the episode.
This
Clint's
isn't the
just
end.
Leaving. But
but I
Clint
to
just
make
thinks
sure
the
I
world stops turning when he's not here anymore.
I don't trust people to tell people about Patreon, even though I know you'll do it. But guys, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Yeah, you are. So I'm looking at the chat here. A lot of good chats coming in. This was a fun game, and I can see that. I see Ken Wolcott says the last time I was this excited was after the 2017 Game 6, so I'm tempering my expectations. I get that. 2017 is definitely on a lot of people's minds. Last time, that was also a Halloween night. That one did happen at Dodger Stadium, that the Dodgers won that one, and then they came out and they were just absolutely flat in Game 7. But nothing is inevitable, as I said on Twitter today. And so the similarities don't mean anything's going to happen. I like our chances. But yeah, if you're the kind of person who benefits from tempering expectations, go ahead and do that. Boob Nightingale says Will Klein needs to start tomorrow. Will Klein's probably available, and wouldn't be surprised if we see him Yeah, he won't be starting, but we might see him. Alex Renteria says they better hit old man dead arm Scherzer. And along those same lines, Ken Wolcott says Scherzer owes us one dead arm. It would. Not that I really care who the Dodgers beat to win the World Series, but it would be fun to beat Max Scherzer to win this one. Between Scherzer bailing on the Dodgers in 2021, Scherzer being a part of that national team that shouldn't have beat the Dodgers in 2019. A lot of good stuff from that. O'Donnell Boy says Kiké playing shallow saved the series. Yeah, I mean, he's playing a little bit shallow. Got a great jump, as I mentioned, 7.3 feet above average. And that's like crazy. That's a huge jump on the ball, especially when he said he didn't even know where the ball was. Kiké also said, when the World Series is on the line, I was willing to get hit in the face. Just remarkable. Pretty awesome. Let's see. Just looking at Twitter just to see if there's anything else. Yoshinobu Yamamoto says all that matters is that we won today. I absolutely agree. And we got 2 more super chats I'm going to jump to now. Nancy Brown for $10 says, will Hae-Sung Kim ever get to play again? Yes, he will in 2026, or potentially as a pinch runner tomorrow if necessary. But yeah, Kim, his role on this team is to provide speed if necessary. And so far, yeah, the fact that what they need, Justin Dean's getting a lot more playing time than Hae-Sung Kim because Justin Dean can play a great center field and Hae-Sung Kim can't. And so happy to have Kim on the team. He's going to get himself a World Series ring, hopefully, fingers crossed, but we won't be seeing him getting any meaningful playing time tomorrow. I'm going to talk in a minute about the lineup tomorrow, what that might look like. But spoiler alert, it won't include Hae-Sung Kim. Raul Robles, another $1.99. Predict the Blue Jays pitching plan, Jeff. For $1.99, I will predict the Blue Jays pitching plan. All hands on deck for everybody. And that means Max Scherzer is available. Trey Savage is absolutely available tomorrow. They're going to throw everybody. I would guess Gausman won't pitch, just like I'd guess Yamamoto won't pitch tomorrow. But everybody's going to be available. And this is where, as Clint said, he likes the Dodgers setup. I do too, because I do think the Dodgers have better pitchers than the Blue Jays. Trey Savage was absolutely awesome 2 days ago. But he's not going to be available for 7 innings. And he hasn't pitched in relief in the big leagues. I haven't looked at his stats. I don't know if he's pitched in relief in the minors. So, Dodgers seeing him again for the 3rd time this series could have an impact. There's a lot of things that could go wrong there. And that's obviously a biased Dodger fan point of view. Newsflash, I'm a biased Dodgers fan. I like the Dodgers, how the pitching stacks up for the Dodgers more than for the Blue Jays. Shane Bieber will be available. Everybody's going to be available except for maybe Kevin Gausman. And yeah, go get him. We'll see what happens. Last time there was a game that everybody was available, not because they were supposed to be, but because it went 18 innings. Dodgers won that one, so we will see. Let's see. I thought I saw another chat that I wanted to talk about. Oh, Craig Osterberg says Dean saved the game. And yeah, just smart outfield, which wasn't surprising. Justin Dean is a very good outfielder. He's been playing the outfield for a long time. He's a guy who has spent many, many years in the minor leagues. He understands how to play the outfield. And Kiké Hernandez was over there also yelling, making sure he put his hands up. So both of them did a great job on that play. It was the right call by the umpires that the ball was lodged. Automatic double, hold the runner at third, bing, bang, boom, got the job done. BC, 9 of the last 11 World Series have been won on the road. Which I guess means, sometimes that means that the better team won it quickly, like the Dodgers last year winning it in 5 games. Sometimes it means the lower seeded team winning it in game 6 or 7. Hopefully the Dodgers can make that 10 of the last 12 being won on the road. That would definitely make me happy. Insert silly handle says the issue is the hitting. We need to hit. I trust the pitching. And absolutely, that was the story of this game coming in. It's going to be the story of the next game. The offense needs to hit enough. And they don't all need to click. We need at least an inning like we had in the third inning today, where you get 3 runs and then the pitching holds it down. I would love to see them score a bunch of runs. I don't know that that's in the cards. I don't think it's impossible. And I'm going to hope for that, because that makes game planning a lot easier. But yeah, the offense is going to need to score some runs, because no matter how good the pitching is, if you don't score, you can't win. Let's see. Devin says Yamamoto for MVP. Yeah, I think so. I could see with Ohtani's game 3, if Ohtani had a great game tomorrow, both pitching and hitting, I could see him stealing the World Series MVP, which would be fun, because he already won the NLCS MVP and he's going to win the National League MVP this year. So it would be fun for him to win all 3. Yeah, it would have to be a really remarkable game tomorrow. But that was the case in the NLCS too. Going into game 4, we talked after game 3 about who's going to be the MVP. And I said, well, if Ohtani goes out and hits 4 home runs and throws a shutout, then it's him. And he didn't. He hit 3 home runs and threw 6 scoreless innings, but it was enough to get him the MVP. So I wouldn't rule out Ohtani yet, but as of right now, Yamamoto is absolutely the leader in the clubhouse on the Dodgers side for MVP. Obviously, the Dodgers need to win tomorrow in order for that to matter. BC says they shouldn't have tried to push Roki in the 9th inning, especially with Game 7 the next day. I disagree, at least to an extent. Roki had to throw like 25 pitches in the 8th inning, which meant that with that pitch count, he was already going to be questionable for availability tomorrow anyway. So I like the idea of letting him come in and at least face Alejandro Kirk. Obviously, hitting him with an 0-2 pitch wasn't the plan, putting him on base like that. But I definitely like the idea to let Roki go after Kirk. And then I think the idea was, if he gets Kirk, then let him go after Barger. And then if he gets Barger, let him stay in. If he doesn't, ultimately hitting Kirk with the pitch messed up the plan. But I liked the plan going in because of his pitch count of the 8th inning and what it meant for his availability tomorrow anyway. Might as well just, keep him going right now if you can. It just didn't work out. Yeah, but Roki, I saw somebody say that Robo should have pitched the 8th inning. Roki was absolutely the right call for the 8th inning. Roki is their best reliever, even though he didn't pitch like it tonight. And when you're up by 2 runs and you have the best part of the lineup coming up, you use your best reliever. That's what they did. Robo, having Robleski pitch against Springer and Vlad wouldn't have been a good move. It was a good call to go to Roki, and he got out of that inning. It was more interesting than it should have been, partly because of him, partly because of the umpire, but ultimately he got out of it. BC says last time the Dodgers won Game 7 of the World Series, 1965, on the road in Minnesota. Yeah, that was the last World Series title for the Dodgers before 1981. They took a break after that. You know what? Might as well do it again tomorrow. Like we said yesterday, you can't win 2 games at a time. You cannot win 2 games when you're down 3-2. All you can do is win 1 game and then win 1 game. And the Dodgers are already putting tonight's game out of their mind, because that one is done. And now it's 3 games to 3, win 1 game. That's going to be the mindset of both teams. Doesn't matter what happened before. Doesn't matter what happens after. Win 1 game tomorrow is what everybody is going to be trying to do. Everything is on the table. It's going to be fun. Insert silly handle says, if the bats are live, we can punish the Jays for walking Ohtani. And yeah, Ohtani scored after the intentional walk today. And so that's what you got to do. You have to make it hurt when you walk Ohtani. And actually, what was it? The intentional walk I'm trying to remember. Yeah. That's right. Edman doubled. Right. And then, so then they intentionally walked after Rojas got out, intentionally walked Ohtani. Smith hit the double to score Edman, and then Mookie hit the double to score Ohtani and Smith. Yeah, So basically, the way I count an intentional walk, if it was successful, or it was unsuccessful if the guy they walked ends up scoring that inning. And that's what the Dodgers need to do. Just drive in Shohei every time they walk him and go from there. Tomorrow's their last chance to intentionally walk Ohtani. We'll probably see it happen a little bit more. CWC says, I don't see the Jays pitching to Ohtani tomorrow. You know what? I hope you're right. I love free base runners and make it hurt. I did mention we're going to talk a little bit about the lineup. I guess this is as good a time as any to talk about that. As you can tell, maybe my voice is, it's been going for a couple days. Tonight definitely did not help that. I'm going to pop a cough drop in my mouth real quick. So the lineup tomorrow, I like this lineup today. Maybe I'd probably flip-flop Muncy and Teo, even though Muncy didn't do anything either. I don't know. I was disappointed in Teo's at-bats tonight, at-bat quality. The fact that Tommy Edman saw the ball much better today. He only had the one hit, I think, but he looked better tonight. Maybe you move him up a little bit, but I like Rojas batting ninth. I like the top four of Ohtani, Smith, Freeman, and Betts in that order. In between there, 5 through 8, I don't have strong feelings about. I would expect we'll see the same 9 players in the lineup, even if it is in a different order. But I think that's what we're going to be seeing. And yeah, the goal is going to be make it hurt. If they do walk Ohtani, if they do pitch to you, you got to, hit the ball. I couldn't believe that double that Ohtani hit late in that game tonight. Like, I can't believe that thing got to the wall. He's just capable of things that nobody else is. With that swing, hitting it that far, it was just remarkable. Let's see. Devin says if the Dodgers had lost the lead in the 8th inning, that ump wouldn't have been able to show his face in LA. It was rough. Overall, it wasn't a terribly called game by the umpire. It wasn't great, but there were some high profile calls that looked like they were missed. Scott Slater says, hey, Jeff, fairly often Shohei does not hit when he pitches. Would you rather have him for game 7 hitting or pitching? Yeah, I want both. And I think I know that has happened sometimes. I also know from game 4 of the NLCS that it doesn't always happen that he doesn't hit well when he pitches. And you know what? Shohei's your best player, and he's definitely your best option tomorrow pitching wise. So you just run with it, and Shohei needs to step up, and that's okay. Super chat from Tim G, 500 yen. One more win is all we need now. Anyway, we'll do, hoping the offense can muster more than 4 hits. Yeah, and 4 hits, as long as they come at the right time, can get the job done. Obviously, there was also a walk in there, which helps. But yeah, you would like to see the offense do more, just for the sake of blood pressure, if nothing else. But as long as they finish game 7 with more runs than the Blue Jays, that's all that really matters to me. But obviously, hitting better will help that possibly happen. Let's see what else we have in the chat. Several people saying Andy Pages absolutely would have tried to unlodge the ball and lost the game. I don't think that's right. Honestly, I would guess that 99% of Major League outfielders know that rule and would have played it correctly. Maybe I'm giving people too much benefit of the doubt, but that's a pretty common thing. At a lot of fields, there's enough fields with weird things that you just know, even though it never happens at Rogers Center, that might be the first time it's ever happened there. But there's enough places where weird things can happen that every outfielder knows. You throw your hands up, you don't grab the ball, you just throw your hands up and make the umpires make the call. So I don't necessarily think Pages would have messed that up. BC says Dodgers are aiming to be the first team to win the World Series with a sub 200 batting average since the 1962 Yankees. So far, they're 191. 191 was my nickname in 7th grade because that's how much I weighed that year. Yeah, hopefully they can get that batting average over 200 tomorrow. But as long as they score runs, I don't care if it's because they got 3 walks and then a big 3-run double. I'll take 3 runs on 1 hit if they can do that a few times, wherever it is. CWC says, why can't our Dodgers score lots of runs and give us some breathing room? Amen. I'm with you. Let's make it happen. And the thing is, and maybe we'll get close to wrapping this up, the Dodgers have the personnel to hit well. We talked about it yesterday. This is the team that scored the second most runs in baseball this year. And that was most of these same players. That was even with the corpse of Michael Conforto playing left field most of the time. And they still scored the second most runs in baseball. This team can hit. They haven't shown it much the last couple weeks, but they can. And so tomorrow's as good a day as any to break out and go get it done. That's my thought. Noah asks, which bullpen pieces do you trust entering with men on base? Excuse me. I don't know. It depends on the day. Like, I don't really trust any of them. I hardly trust any of the starters with runners on base. Like, runners on base is always going to be nerve-wracking. And that's why I've said, with the bullpen being your shaky spot, the antidote to that, the way to mitigate that is for the starting pitching and the offense to do great. And so then you don't have to stress because the game's not too close. So there's a non-answer for you, Noah. I hope you appreciate that. Let's see. Beverly Benton says, what happened to Muncy? I keep waiting for him to launch one into the seats. Yeah, Muncy was my pick for World Series MVP going into the series. I don't think that's going to happen. But again, Muncy is a guy who at any moment he could wake up tomorrow and say, oh, I remember how to hit now, and have a big game tomorrow. They have at least 9 guys in this lineup who could be the star on any given day, and it wouldn't shock you. Some would surprise you more than others, but none would shock you. If Miguel Rojas has a big game, it wouldn't shock you. The dude can hit. He's a veteran. He's had some big hits for the Dodgers this year. Everybody else, Tommy Edman, former NLCS MVP, Max Muncy, one of their best hitters at times. All these guys could be the star tomorrow. I just hope at least one of them is, because that's what you need. You need a couple guys come up big for you and get the job done. Just scrolling through the chat, see if I'm missing anything else. Devin says, historically, Shohei hits fine when he pitches. It was just this year that he didn't. And then he did in the NLCS. Let's see. Something else I wanted to mention. Smitty brings it up. Pretty cool that the Jays are wearing number 51 on their hats as well, the Blue Jays bullpen. I saw that too. I hadn't noticed it in previous games. I don't know if it was there in previous games, but yeah, we saw the other day, I think it was game 3, that we saw the Dodgers relievers were all wearing number 51 on their hats for Alex Vesia. Today, the Blue Jays relievers were too. It's absolutely bigger than baseball. Every one of these players understands that it's bigger than baseball, and that Alex Vesia, win or lose, whoever wins this World Series tomorrow, every one of those guys has Alex Vesia's back, and that's awesome. And I think that's great and wonderful, and it kind of goes to show that baseball players have a bond with each other that none of us will ever understand. Dusty Willis points out Game 7 is on Fernando Valenzuela's birthday. Yeah, last year they did the World Series parade on Fernando's birthday. This year they get to play Game 7. A lot of good stuff there. Bruce asks if I still weigh 191 pounds right now. No, I was 5'5" when I weighed 191. I'm now 6'3", or close enough that I still claim 6'3". I used to be a legit 6'3", and then I got old and bad back and everything. But my weight does not start with a 1 or a 2, and maybe not even a 3. But we're working towards the 3. We'll put it that way. I'm a lot closer to the 3 than I was a few months ago, and that's good. I noticed today when my wife texted me the picture of me clutching my pillow. I look slimmer than I have in some other pillow clutching pictures. So you know what? It's working. Only like 180 pounds to go. So step 1, win Game 7 of the World Series. Step 2, lose 180 more pounds. My wife went skydiving when we were in Lake Elsinore the other day. And in order for me to be able to do that with her, I need to get down to 250. So that's my long-term goal, is to go skydiving with my wife. That means get down to 250. Let's see. Scott says they just can't score the second most runs tomorrow. Let's freaking go, Dodgers. Stars and Stripes 10 says Rojas, a.k.a. the vacuum. I know I mentioned already, but got to mention again. Miguel Rojas had 3 really good plays at second base today. There was the hard ground ball that he made a nice play going back and threw him out. There was the chopper that he barehanded it and made a quick throw to Freddie Freeman. And then obviously the play to end the game. I mean, it's huge because otherwise George Springer comes up. If they don't get that out at second, then it's still second and third and 2 outs. And a base hit ties the game. And a home run wins the game and wins the series. So that play by Rojas, obviously the play by Kiké, everything about that was huge. So Miguel Rojas didn't do much of anything with the bat today, but he sure did come through with the glove, and I will take it. Cyclops says Scherzer will implode tomorrow. I hope so. I hope the Dodgers make him implode. Redman R says, as much as it pains me to say this, the Dodgers will be the first repeat champions in 25 years and win the World Series without having home field advantage in 44 years. I'm not sure what that last part means. First time they've won it without home field advantage, maybe. Let me think. They had it in 88. They had it in 2020. They had it last year. Is that probably what he means? That they haven't won. They haven't won the World Series without home field advantage since 1981. And he says it pains him to say it, so I'm not sure which team Redman is a fan of, but appreciate that you're here, and I hope you're right. Absolutely. Nathaniel Crenshaw says he has Yoshi for MVP if we win tomorrow. Yeah, like I said, unless something crazy happens for somebody else tomorrow. Back-to-back with the 34 patches on would be legendary. Can never take them off if they win tomorrow. Okay, there's Redman R saying more. Last time Dodgers won the World Series when they didn't start at home was 1981. They started in New York and finished at New York to beat the Yankees. Muncy and Teoscar need to hit tomorrow, according to Leon03. Absolutely. I'll even take a foul ball from Teo at this point. That was rough today. I'm not gonna harp on it because the Dodgers won, but I need to see more from Teo tomorrow. That was rough. I think. Yeah, I'm not gonna catch up with all the chat, but. I think that's about all I have for today. We said yesterday, all the Dodgers can do today is force a Game 7. That's what they did. They forced a Game 7, and now anything can happen tomorrow. That's good news. It's also bad news. It doesn't matter who's better. It matters who plays better tomorrow. That's the Dodgers mindset. The Dodgers have the experience edge here. They've been in the World Series before. I honestly believe experience played in on that game-ending play. Kiké Hernandez, Miguel Rojas having more experience in big games than Addison Barger. Not a knock on Barger. I think it was reasonable for Barger to think that ball was going to drop. It just didn't. But in the end, it was a huge play. Dodgers have the experience advantage. The Dodgers have the potential to play better. They just need to do it. And in the end, that's what we're looking for. That'll do it for me for today. Tomorrow, as Clint said before he left, we will be here. Clint will be with Ross Stripling on Dodgers territory immediately after the game. Clint and I will be here. Maybe Kevin with us. I don't know. We'll see how he's doing. Hopefully we'll be talking about a World Series win, and then maybe Kevin will want to talk. But we will be here as soon as Dodgers territory is done. And yeah, I hope it's a happy episode. That's all I got to say. Thank you all for being here. This was a lot of fun. Thank you to the Bleav Network. Thank you to FanDuel and Delete Me for sponsoring the show. Thank you to our chat moderators and all of you in the chat. If you want to join our Discord, go to patreon.com/realfrg. It's a lot of fun talking Dodgers over there. It's kind of crazy and doomerish sometimes, but it's also a lot of fun. So check that out. Just $5 a month get you access there. Be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. We're over 20,000 subscribers. We're trying to get to 50 million, so we got a few more to get there. So let's please subscribe if you're not. Subscribe wherever you're listening, if you're listening on the podcast version, et cetera, et cetera. And with all that said, all I have left to say is bye.